I believe the most important ingredient in any meaningful ritual isn't what's in your hands, it's the intention in your heart. Welcome to Paper Rituals. Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. This is Anna, and this is our Paper Ritual 002, the freezer. This is a ritual for releasing what no longer serves you. So, I over-decorated it. Of course, you don't have to, but this is what we're making today. We're making a little freezer where we can put the names of people or situations. It's a pocket. I just put whatever snowflake things, cold things that I could find. And the little jar is tricky, okay? Because it's small. If you put a piece of paper in here and then put your jar in the freezer, chances are you may or may not be able to, if you kind of do this after it's glued, you may be able to kind of wiggle it and press it on the sides so that it opens, and your papers should be able to fall so you can reuse it. But this is the little jar that has frozen water in it because we've frozen the names in there. All right. So let's see what's going on. Why do we need to do this? The freezer spell is a well-known folk magic practice, often associated with hoodoo and other folk traditions. It has been used for generations as a symbolic way of creating distance from unwanted influences, conflict, gossip, or difficult situations. This paper ritual is inspired by that tradition and invites you to explore it through a simple creative practice centered on intention. Whether you experience this ritual as spiritual, symbolic, psychological, or simply as a mindful creative exercise, the heart of it remains the same. When we intentionally acknowledge what is disturbing our peace, we also give ourselves permission to stop carrying it everywhere we go. This ritual isn't about controlling another person. It's about reclaiming your own sense of calm and creating healthy distance from the things that continue to drain your energy. So imagine you're just living your life, being your happy self. This is Happy Anna. Hi. And then there's neighbors, right? Neighbors. They're not very pleasant. Neighbors. There's conflict. That's a crabby old neighbor. They play loud music. Maybe not the old lady, but certainly she seems like someone. I should have printed a younger person. They make you feel uncomfortable when you walk outside. You find yourself thinking about them more than you would like. You can write on your intention slip, there's constant neighbor conflict, loud neighbor, neighborhood stress. And as you place it in your freezer jar, you're going to say, I'm choosing to stop giving this situation so much of my energy. That's it. Or if it's not neighbors, these are your family. She's like, la la la, hello, hi, I'm me, I believe in magic, yes. That's crazy. Go get a real job. You're such a disappointment. Why aren't you more like your sister? If you had a real job, I could borrow money from you. You know what I mean? You love them, but every conversation with them leaves you feeling drained, They criticize you. They bring up the past. They create tension whenever you're together. Put the little paper in the jar and in the freezer. And write on the intention slip, family tension, constant criticism, holiday stress, whatever feels comfortable for you. And as you place it in the jar and in the freezer, you're going to say, I'm not trying to change another person. I'm choosing to protect my own peace. You're creating an invisible barrier. It's an energy line that you're drawing, right? Let's say that these people are at work. Okay, so grandma's not at work, so she retired already. But these could be coworkers, these could be bosses, these could be whatever, right? Sometimes it's not just one person, it's a toxic environment. There's gossip. These two are gossiping for sure. This is the boss. He's always criticizing. He doesn't seem like a micromanager, but maybe he's the boss and she's the supervisor. She's constantly micromanaging you, telling you what to do, double checking your work. Oh, did you send that email? Did you do that report when you already had it done and taken care of, right? These two are gossiping about everybody. Everybody. You walk into work already feeling anxious before the day even begins. Take out your little piece of paper. Work drama, office gossip, workplace negativity, and a toxic environment, however you want to say it. As you place your little paper in the jar and the jar in the freezer, you can say, I choose to leave this energy here instead of carrying it with me. And you put it in the freezer. And your intention, you're paying attention, right? You're paying attention. You're focusing on what it is you really want to set that boundary for, so that you can remain your happy little self. And if these people want to stay in their misery, that's not your problem. Okay? Whatever it is that you're writing down today, it's not about pushing it away with anger, hostility. It's about gently setting it down, pushing it aside, allowing yourself to breathe and to make room for something better. Right? All right, these people are going to go in the garbage. We don't need them anymore. You losers. All right, well, You've printed your template. I printed this one at 105%, and that seemed, you may be able to do it even a little bit bigger if you don't care about the little legends here telling you what's here. This one is a much simpler ritual in terms of materials, because it really doesn't have much, and you can make it as easy, as decorated or not as possible. If you don't have time to sit or you don't have materials to put the pretty little washi tape and the little stickers on it, that's perfectly fine. Okay, you can literally just print this, fold it up, and put a piece of tape on it on the sides. Put some tape on the sides. As you fold it up, just put some masking tape or scotch tape and just fold it and leave it open. Put freezer on it. You can write freezer. You can cut the little jar and just fold it and put tape on the sides and leave the top open so you can slip in your little intentions. The snowflake seal, as I showed you in the fast forwarded section, I used it was a different color, but I used cardstock to make it a little thicker so that it would actually hold onto the lid. You glue the bottom half of the circle, and you're gonna have to just guesstimate, right, where if you just bend it, it opens, and you can open the pocket. And then to shut it, you just sort of bend it again, and the little circle catches the lip right there. So you can do that several ways. Remember, there's no perfect way to do this. You can go as elaborate, much more elaborate than I did, or as simple. The point is for you to get you thinking. The point is to get you maybe to have a mindful moment about things that you want to release, okay? Because this ritual is about releasing what doesn't serve you anymore. So I'm gonna cut out the little slips of paper that we have here. Of course, you can use just any paper, but I'll cut these out. And I'm not even cutting it neatly. We'll do 4 samples here, or 3 maybe. So you take a quiet moment, take a deep breath, and think about if you're being prompted to do this, maybe right now you just save it and you think this is a good idea for when I need it, and you're going through a situation and you know exactly what you want to put in the freezer. It's a specific person. Traditionally, the tradition is to put a person's name. So let's say Wendy, not Wendy. We're not putting Wendy. What are you making the thing dirty, honey? Oh, you drank water. You're all wet. Let's say John Doe. John Doe just really, really has been getting on your nerves. And rather than being confrontational or to do something that you will cause you, difficulties, you just want energetically to release yourself. Begin releasing yourself. And I believe wholeheartedly that when you release yourself energetically from something, that something begins to fade away from your life. Nothing bad's going to happen to them. Nothing like that. But you begin to set that in energetic intention. So John Doe, and what I do when I'm putting a person in the freezer, I work my paper counterclockwise as a way of releasing it. Clockwise is bringing it towards you. Counterclockwise is taking it away from you, right? Leave my life. Right on top. You're writing it right on top. It's not going to make sense if you look at it. Leave my life. With no harm. Or with harm to none. With harm to none. That's simple. I'm going to counterclockwise it again, and I'm going to fold it away from me. Away from me. Okay? And we're going to put it in a little jar. Now, you can do this in real life. You can actually get a little jar, freezer proof. Put the piece of paper in there, put some water, and freeze it and put it in the back of the freezer. We're doing a paper ritual. We're going to put it in the little jar. And if that's the only thing you have to do, if that's the only one you got to do, then you put it in the freezer. And as you're putting it in the freezer, you're saying, I choose to release what no longer serves my peace. Put it in the freezer. You close the freezer. You take a deep breath. You release that. Release it. And then you can say, may what no longer belongs in my thoughts gently fade into stillness. May my heart have room once again for peace, hope, and joy. And may I carry forward only what nourishes my spirit. It's very gentle, We're not harming anyone. Let's say it was the work situation. I mean, you can add 2 or 3 things to the same jar. I prefer to do 1 jar per person. You don't have to use the jar. Traditionally, you get a little aluminum foil and you put your piece of paper inside the aluminum foil. Again, the counterclockwise, the folding away from you. And you can put that little piece of paper in the back somewhere or in a jar if you want to. I like having that energy of the person or the situation feel isolated because I'm extra that way. I want them to be isolated so that they are feeling, and again, no one's feeling anything, so don't worry about harming anyone. It's all just an energetic thing. To me, it's symbolic, and it makes me feel good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little weird that way. It makes me feel good knowing that that energy is feeling isolated, so that they have time to think about what they're doing, right? I'm not changing anybody. No one's gonna know that this is being done. I'm not harming anyone. It's for me. It makes me feel good to know that I've released that, and it's there until I'm ready to throw it out. And you can literally throw it in the garbage. Right, little girl. She's like hamming it up over here, causing me distractions. Very distractions. So I'm going to think about the neighbor. A neighbor that came and poured glue on my cactus. Neighbors. Inconsideration. To me, it was a violation of my peace. Get it out. Seriously, get it out. And I'm writing, it's not going to make sense. It's sort of just gibberish because I'm writing over and over the same thing in the same little slip of paper. That's adding that energy in there. It's releasing it from you. Counterclockwise. Respect for your neighbors. Leave me alone. And you can sit with that for a little bit. Sit with it, right? Maybe it stirs up emotions. Maybe it kind of, if you're riled up too much, maybe it's not the time to do this. This is when you can find maybe that you're ready to set that boundary, energetically speaking. You're ready to let it go, right? This is a more gentle ritual. It's not going to cause any kind of large, deep changes. This is about you being ready to let it go, okay? Pick up your little paper, fold it away. I'm releasing them. I'm releasing how much they bother me. I'm releasing this from my life. I throw it in the little jar. I know there's still a paper in there, but I'm throwing this one in there. And we put it in the freezer. Again, I choose to release what no longer serves my peace. May what no longer belongs in my thoughts gently fade into stillness. May my heart have room once again for peace, hope, and joy. And may I carry forward only what nourishes my spirit. You can do several things, or whenever something occurs to you, whenever something begins to bother you, whenever something crosses your path that needs that kind of release, you can revisit your freezer. You can put it underneath in a drawer and put it away. However you want to do it, you can set it, have it standing on your bookshelf or on a little nook or on a wherever. wherever you decide is a safe space for it. Maybe you don't want to be reminded, so put it away somewhere, and whenever you come across it, that's when it needs to be released and recycled, or dealt with at that point. This is an intuitive process. Just somewhere private for as long as it feels meaningful to you, right? Each time you notice it, let it remind you that your peace is worth protecting. And when the ritual feels complete, you can take out your little bottle or jar and take out the little pieces of paper. You can, and I still have glue on my hands, so I'm sorry. I was crafting away. You can tear them up even smaller and throw them in the garbage. You can bury them. You can do whatever you want. It can be very simple or complicated, however you like it. And that's it. Keep your little freezer for the next time. Or you can also toss the freezer if you feel like, oh, this really isn't really for me, this is kind of silly, or whatever, however you feel about it. Maybe think about it. How you feel about doing these things. Does it feel silly? Write it down. Ask yourself, why do you feel that way? Why can't you have some kind of whimsical experience in your life? Why does that make you feel weird, right? Those are all good things to process. And that's it. That's it. I'm going to be creating a folder for these little paper rituals. And that will be a separate video on how I make that. And I don't really know how I'm going to do that yet. I also think I'm deciding that these will be every other week versus every week, because they're a lot of work. And I have so many other things that I do that it just stresses me, and I don't want this, which is so enjoyable when I'm doing it, to be a source of stress for myself. So these may come out every other week, if that's okay with you. And that's it. I thank you so much for spending this creative moment with me. It's so special to me. And if you make your own paper ritual, I'd love to hear how it went for you. Until next time, take good care of yourself, trust your intuition, and stay blessed. Thank you. Bye-bye.